Two, one. Hey everybody, how you doing? This is Robert Rivera with Who's on First This show. And today I don't have a guest, but you guys are my guests. And I'm gonna talk about a subject that's been a little taboo for people. Everybody has their own opinion. I have my opinion, but I want to hear yours. Let me know. So, this week we lost one of the greatest baseball players in history, in my opinion, Pete Rose. And for me, Pete Rose was the epitome of a baseball player. He played the game the way it should be. He did not have great talent, but he beat you with what he had. And I remember listening to him talk about baseball. I thought he was a great ambassador for the game. He loved the game. He loved the Cincinnati Reds. And until the day he died, he was about the fans. He was about love of the game. He was about being a great ambassador for the game of baseball. And in my personal story with Pete Rose in 2019, I was in Cooperstown, New York, and we were there to see the first Rivera put into the Baseball Hall of Fame, Mariano Rivera. And I was walking down Main Street and I told my brother, I said, man, I wonder if Pete Rose is going to be around. Well, as we're walking, I hear somebody talking about the Big Red Machine, and they were in a bookstore signing autographs. It was Tony Perez and Joe Morgan and Pete Rose were in there. And my brother said, I looked like a little kid when I heard Pete Rose. I lit up and I went running down the street to go get into that bookstore. And it was a great experience for me. He was a great guy. I got up in the line and was able to secure an autograph. And it was for me to meet P. Rose, to talk to him. It was amazing. It was an amazing time. And what wound up happening, I got the autograph and I was told to keep moving. Yeah, because the line got to keep moving. And I stepped to the side and I wanted to get a picture. The security guy would not let me get a picture. And I was like, come on, I got to get a picture. And after about 5 or 10 minutes, security guy was like, hey, you got to keep moving. If you're not getting an autograph, you got to keep moving. And I just stood there at the side of the table and I asked Pete, I said, hey, Pete, can I, get an autograph, picture? I got your autograph. Can I get a picture? And he pointed to the security guy and like, sorry, and I can't do it. And I stood there for a couple more minutes. And of course, the security guy, hey, you got to keep moving. And I'm like, ah, come on, man. I was like, I'm not bothering nobody. I'm just standing here. My back hurts and stuff. And he let me stand there. And sure enough, there was nobody in line. And I said, hey, Pete, can I get a picture? And he just looked at me and was like, he goes, kid, the security guy. And I said, Pete, I can't leave without a picture. So he turned around and he goes, you know what? Give me the ball. I'll put something on it. He goes, you want me to write something on it? I said, well, what is that? The right, you're the hit king, 4256. And he goes, oh, you know the number. I said, absolutely. He goes, okay. So he wrote on this baseball for me. He wrote Pete Rose, uh, hit king, 4256. And I was over the moon. For me, that was amazing that he would, write that for me. And it was no extra cost. It was, hey, I'll do it for you. No problem, no big deal. Well, I stood at the end of the table and I waited. More people were coming in and out, and I waited and I waited and I waited until finally there was nobody. And finally I say, Pete, come on, man. You can't let me leave without a picture. I gotta have a picture. And finally he looked up and looked at the security guy and was like, hey, come on, kid. And I'm, what? And he pulls up a chair and I'm still sitting next to him. And I got to sit next to Pete. And I said, hey, Pete, can you hold the ball for me? Yeah, sure. He grabs the ball, points it up. My son is standing behind me. And it was just great that, he was such a humble guy, willing to give me a picture, willing to break the security guy's rules. And for me, that was something that I'll never forget. and he was one of my always favorite player. But he has. So the question for me is he a Hall of Famer? I mean, some people say yes, some people say no. What do you say? Don't forget, you know, don't forget to make a comment and let me know what you guys think. But he has the Hall of Fame resume. He has it there. He is he is the all-time hits leader with 4,256. 3 times World Series champion. He's a World Series MVP. He's a 17-time All-Star. He's a National League MVP, and he's a 3-time batting champ. And now that he passed, I understand why Major League Baseball did not want him in the Hall because of the whole gambling thing. And I understand that. But I think now that he is gone, he should go in. There's several people, in my opinion, should also be in the Hall of Fame. I believe that Thurman Munson should be in there also. He is not in the Hall of Fame, but that's a whole different story. But we're talking about Pete Rose. And if you just look at the amazing numbers that he has put up, he has won in games that he has played 1,976 games. Okay. Games that he has played. So you're talking about another record. And that was one of the records that he always loved. He cherished that. 1,976. So let's do the math. If you have a 20-year career in Major League Baseball and you win 100 games per season, right? You can eclipse that record. But it'd have to be a perfect 20-year career and it'd have to be 100 games a year. It's not easy. These are not easy things to do. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard. It's hard. We're talking about 100 games, and if you get two hits out of those 100 games, right? You'll be batting 500, which is impossible. In 20 years, if you're getting 2 hits per game, 2,000 games, that's 4,000 hits. You're going to come up short. So do the math. It's there. And for me, I think we lost one of the great ones. I think he was a heck of a baseball player, but we also got to remember the gambling. But he never bet on a game, supposedly, that he never played in. And if he did, he bet on a game on himself to win, wasn't to lose, was never to lose. Yeah, and he was that guy that he used his skills, what he had, to beat you. He was never there to lose. Never there to lose. He elevated his teams, all his fellow baseball players, his teammates would say, hey, Pete always made us better. We saw him hustling. We saw him giving 110%. And we said, hey, we can't give 70%. We can't give 80%. And he played amongst the best. Look at that big red machine lineup. Talk about monsters of baseball. These guys were killers. And that's why they were the big red machine. So let's not forget about that. But Pete, gonna miss you. You're a heck of a guy, hell of a baseball player, heck of an ambassador to Major League Baseball. And sir, I don't have a Cincinnati Red hat, but I have a Montreal Expos hat, which you were a part of. Played for the Montreal Expos. He plays for the Cincinnati Reds, and he also played for the Philadelphia Phillies. And you rest in peace. And hopefully out there's other great stories of how Pete was a great ambassador to baseball. Don't forget to comment. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe. And as we say here on Who's On First,
you like the show, please do me a favor. Subscribe. Right. You see it? It's right there. Subscribe, share, like, and don't forget, put that bell on. It'll ding you when I put something else on, all right?